I'm a really very simple dude, believe it or not. For all the chaos and all that stuff, like, I'm an entrepreneur who's an immigrant, first generation, born in the Soviet Union, right? Who like came over and like did his family proud, right? Like walked into the family merchant liquor store business and changed the course of the entire family's life. And then at 34, one of the reasons I push patience on every kid on social media is, you know, I spent the first 12 years of my career, 7 days a week in a liquor store, not 9 to 5, you know, 7 to 10 p.m., open and close the store for a decade, Saturday included. I would get Sundays during the football season, not a lot of Sundays during not the football season, and, you know, and I never made $100,000 from 22 to 34, and, you know, like, that's hard. And like, you know, like, and so it's just like so big that I know it's true. Like, I know it's true that if you do the right things and if you have the talent, you're gonna end up there. And so I think I'm just a very cliche, not too crazy, out of the ordinary immigrant entrepreneur story that valued family over themselves first. But I think what's unique about me, and that's only because the internet was around. You know, had I been in the 50s and 40s and 60s, I just kind of I probably would have 35 wine stores right now, right? And I'd probably be maybe 50-50 partners with my dad. Probably not, but I would inherit it, right? But with the internet, I was able to speed up my course. Plus I had an 11-year younger brother who I wanted to be in business with. That forced my hand a lot. And then I think I'm a guy who like really likes to see other people win. Things are getting clearer for me of like how I'm wired. Like, Nick, you know this. Sean, you even know this by the way our relationships have formed, and a lot of people here know this. Like, I really want people to fucking win. I really want it. Like, why? Because I'm so fucking great. Nobody's taken from me. I see the fucking, one of the great iconic legends of all time is here, Snoop. All of Snoop's winnings, right? All of your winnings, Nick, all of Sean's winnings, I'm just gonna keep, all of Sammy and Jake and Vicky J, like everyone's winnings don't come from me. I'm gonna get mine. So like, you know, if you're great, you should only be cheering for people. There's no time for envy. There's no time for jealousy. There's no time for gossiping at dinner, tearing down somebody that's winning. I'm cheering for Maverick Carter. I'm cheering for like everybody. I'm cheering for fuckers in my own industry, other ad agency. If they're good enough, they're good enough. Hawk Media, good, win. Like, I'm cheering for people because nobody's taking a penny or a smile out of my pocket. And so that's who the fuck I am.
Did that come from age? Did that come from age?
No.
From success in age?
No, nope.
Okay.
Sure didn't. I wouldn't have, if I wasn't that person, I would have never built something for my dad. Parents and siblings aren't off, you know, aren't hands off from this stuff. They're not exempt. If you envy your brother and sister most. If you envy, you envy your sibling, your partner, your spouse, your parents most. This is how I was born from the womb, from the dirt of Belarus. This is who the fuck I was. And then I was formed and molded by my mother, who's the same person. So I had the luxury of the double down. For a lot of people here, they're gonna understand the double down. A lot of us have the DNA of one of our parents, and then that parent is the most impactful parent to us. Others, we have the DNA of the other parent, and they're not the one that kind of did the hardcore parenting. So I had the DNA of my mom, and then I had her parented, so I just became like the 2.0 version of her. Nobody's more competitive than me. On this call, I've already said that BeFriends has to be the #1 NFT project of all time. Right. To your point, this is where people struggle, and I love that you said that. I used to cry until I was 17 anytime I lost in anything. My brother once beat me in NHL 94 and I punched a hole in his bedroom wall. Like, I'm plenty competitive. I just did a podcast where I said it's my darkest part. I'm dark when it comes to competitiveness. But I don't think people understand that you can carry two opposite feelings at the same time and they can coexist. This is where everyone gets fucked up. I'm competitive and cheering for everyone. I'm the most hungry and ambitious, and I'm patient as fuck. The fucking superpower comes from the balance of the opposite feelings.
I get it. No, it makes so much sense. So one thing I have noticed though is as we've all gotten older, at least, you know, a lot of the icons that I've worked with, whatever, there's this sort of celebration now, and there's this sense of like, there's this real sense of love, and I just watching it unfold right now has been really inspiring.
I think it's cliche that once you scratch your itch, then you are good. What I'm trying to get the kids on here to understand is when you're 20 and you want to be a supermodel or an athlete or the best entrepreneur, you want to be the next generation of the people on this call, like, you know, it's then, if you're smart enough to be gracious and happy for others and be the bigger person, the depths of those relationships will be greater. Nick, think about all the icons in music that are now giving each other roses, but they were fucking competing with each other because they thought the world was scarce. Think about how more beautiful their relationships would be today, and think about this one's gonna hit for you. Think about all the missed nights, all those concerts, all those Jingle Balls, all those fucking BET Awards, all those nights where people could have chopped up, shared bread, fucking been family instead of fucking hating on each other. They missed those 700 nights.
Yeah, no, I think about it all the time. I really think about it, and I think about it, you know, it's something that if you can instill that in people at a younger age now,
exactly.
You know, it changes the whole dialogue, man. So
100.
I 100% agree with you, man, and it's warm to hear. So I want to ask you another question here. You are known as a collector. I see you collect. You've inspired me to collect. I think it's probably how you guys know Sean, some of the other super icons. You know, at heart, like what was the first thing you collected? Like, how did you get into it? Because I think that story is amazing for our audience.
Baseball cards, 1984, so I was 9. Don Mattingly was Yankees first baseman, he was my hero. And then I like, you know, we were like, you know, you could tell this story and nobody believes you, but like we were poor, like we didn't get shit. Like I didn't even know shit existed. You know, I guess a little bit like, you know, like it was just this kid, Eric Conrad. By the way, Eric Conrad, if anybody can find Eric Conrad, I think his mom lived in Florida, his dad lived in Jersey, in Edison, New Jersey, in Dogwood Meadows, and he would visit for the summer. And so like I've lost touch with him like since 1987, but if you're out there, Eric Conrad, with a dad and mom that were divorced and dad was in Edison, New Jersey, I'd love to chop it up. Like I literally haven't talked to him since 1987, but from 84 to 87, we used to go into his basement and we would make card houses out of decks of cards. Like literally, for like 3 hours, and then we'd go play wiffle ball and basketball. And it was the first time I built card houses. You know what I'm talking about, right? Like you take a deck of cards and try to build a fort or like a castle. And then one day, we like ran out of cards and he was like, stay right here, and he ran upstairs and he came down and he had baseball cards to add to our playing cards. And I was like, what the fuck is this? And I was already crazy about the Jets and the Yankees, and that was it. It was sports cards. And what's really unique is I've never told that story. It was because I was building card houses out of playing cards, and Eric Conrad went upstairs and brought down baseball cards. That made me realize they existed, and within 13 seconds I'm like, I need a Don Mattingly baseball card. And then I'd take my bike or walk to Krauser's, which was like a 7-Eleven in Jersey, and then my eye noticed that at the counter there was baseball cards, and that's why I had to do lemonade stands, because I needed the money to buy baseball cards, because that's the beauty of how I grew up. Like, my mom was not buying that shit for us. Money was for food and clothes and shelter, and so I learned how to get mine early. You know, actually 2023 for me is like a real focus I'm like thinking a lot more about efficiency in my travel and just in general, all to open up more time for more friendships, you know, between family and work. That's just kind of how I roll. But I want to really open up more room for friendships, as Sean knows, as you know, Nick, between DM or texting. I'm pretty good like that, right? I check in, I want to support, but my actual hours, so many people, like for example, even on this Spaces right now, so many people don't realize that I'm running a 2,000 person company and that VaynerX is doing hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue. That by itself is a 15-hour job. Then there's VeeFriends, then there's the Garyvee thing, then there's the investor thing, then there's like actually still caring about wine techs and wine library for my dad. So, but I'm so focused on opening up room to expand on my friendships. I'm going out to, you know, right after I'm here, I'm going out to another dinner with a couple that I would have 40 times I tried to have dinner with in the last 2 years, 0 dinners. Now I'm doing it tonight. So Sean is one of those people that I have great love for. You're the same, Nick, where it's like real for business friendship, real, I call them acquaintance pluses, people I got real love for that I can recognize immediately. I know a lot about them. I give them love. Then there's friends, that I don't get to spend time with. So this is pretty fun to do this on the 18th with the two of you because you guys fit in the category of my New Year's resolution. Though I'm saying that for fun. It's a life resolution, which is I need to find more capacity for more hours for friends. And I'm happy to be here with you guys tonight. And I hope that little rant maybe inspired someone to text someone they've been wanting to get drinks with actually and maybe pull it off next week.